DeFi is already live. Capital is moving on-chain every single day. But most institutions still can't participate. Not because the technology doesn't work, but because decisions can't be explained. Trust OS turns decisions into something verifiable, making DeFi accountable for institutions.
All right, your 7-minute pitch begins right now.
Hello everyone. I promise this will be more exciting than a typical compliance discussion. My name is Hideki Nagashima, founder of Trustfolio. Today, I wanna talk about DeFi, not as the ideology, not as the future vision, but as a system that is already live. Capital is already on-chain. Treasuries are active. Staking is operational. Execution is automated. And yet, most financial institutions still cannot participate. Not because that DeFi doesn't work, but because decision cannot be explained. In regulated finance, every action must answer 3 questions. Who made the decision? Why was it made? And under which rule was it executed? In today's DeFi systems, transactions execute perfectly, funds move. Validators are selected. But when regulators or institutions ask why, the system often has no structured answer. This is a real bottleneck of DeFi, not scalability, not UX, not even regulation itself. It is accountability. Before going further, let me walk you through 2 concrete use cases that we anticipate in real-world deployment. Use case 1, DeFi treasury and merging operations. Today, DAOs and crypto funds manage significant treasuries on-chain. A proposal is submitted. Approvals are collected. Execution is triggered, but something is missing. Why? Decision rationales are fragmented. Risk evaluations are informal. Audit trails require manual reconstruction. When something goes wrong, it becomes extremely difficult to prove who approved what and why. Institutions do not need higher ease. They need explainable decision-making. Use case 2, staking custody action. Institutions seek yield, but regulators ask simple questions. Why was this validator selected? Which risk policy was applied? Who is accountable if slashing occurs? Yield optimization alone cannot answer this. Only verifiable decision processes can. The same applies to custody. When assets move, the most important question is not what happened, but why it happened. Introducing TrustOS. This is exactly why we built TrustOS. TrustOS is not a DeFi protocol. It does not compete with existing platforms. TrustOS is a verification layer that sits above DeFi actions. It evaluates decision context, not outcomes, not opinions, not promises. Every decision generates a trust score. Every trust score is verifiable. Every action leaves an auditable trace. Now let me show you our live POC. What you're about to see is a real-time accountability flow. You are now seeing an institutional DeFi workflow. First, the wallet connection is established. TrustOS observes structured inputs as a workflow process. A trust score is generated in real time. Next, governance approvals is recorded, and integrity checks run automatically. TrustOS writes the decision footprint into the trust kernel ledger, creating an immutable audit trail. Finally, the system performed end-to-end verification. Verify OK. The workflow is now fully structured and continuously traceable. Now let's look at the TrustOS dashboard. Institutional operators can monitor decision quality and risk signals in real time. TrustOS analyzes context, applies rule-based verification, and generates a verifiable trust score. This system does not just execute. It explains, it leaves an immutable trail. TrustOS shifts the paradigm verification, verify decision context, generate instant audit trail, embed accountability at architecture level. Trust is no longer assumed. It becomes structured, machine-readable data. And once trust becomes structured data, it becomes reusable. It enables automated reporting and continuous risk monitoring. Trust becomes infrastructure. DeFi is just a starting point. The same accountability gap exists across finance, insurance, employment, and AI-driven decision systems. Who decided under which rule can it be verified? TrustOS is a design for that future, where decisions are automated but accountability remains human. Our goal is simple: to make trust portable, verifiable, and universally usable across ecosystem. DeFi does not fail because it is decentralized. It fails when no one can explain it. We are not just building technology.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Hideki Nagashima, founder and CEO of Trustfolio LLC, making DeFi explainable with TrustOS.